Okay, so you finally did it. You saved up your first $1,000, and let's be clear, that is a huge deal. It's a massive accomplishment and you should be incredibly proud. But now comes the scary part, doesn't it? The part no one really prepared you for. You're terrified of making one wrong move and watching that hard-earned money just vanish. You see the headlines, you hear the horror stories, and that fear is so powerful it just leads to paralysis. So you do nothing and that $1,000 sits there losing a little bit of its power every single day. If that sounds just like you, take a deep breath, because over the next few minutes I'm going to give you the exact no-nonsense step-by-step plan I'd follow to turn that $1,000 into a real foundation for wealth. This is not financial advice, this is for education and entertainment purpose only. I'm not talking about gambling or chasing crypto memes here. We're talking about building a habit, creating momentum, and putting your money to work for you the right way. Before we get into the how, we have to talk about the why. Why is it so important to invest this money instead of just letting it chill in a savings account? Well, there are two massive forecasts at play. One is working against you and the other can work for you more powerfully than you can imagine. The force working against you is inflation. You've heard the word, but let's make it real. Inflation is the silent thief that sneaks into your bank account and just steals your spending power. That coffee that cost you $3 a few years ago, it's probably closer to $4 or $5 today. Your dollar just doesn't go as far. So if your money is sitting in a savings account earning a measly 0.1%, while inflation is humming along at 3%, you're effectively losing 2.9% of your money's value every single year. Your $1,000 becomes worth $970 in the real world stuff after 1 year, then $941 the next. Letting your money sit in cash is a guaranteed loss. It's like you're on a treadmill and someone is secretly turning up the speed. Now for the good news here, there is an even more powerful force that works for you. Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world, compound interest, he said. He who understands it earns it, he who doesn't pays it. Today we're going to understand it and we are going to earn it. Compounding is just your money making babies. It's a snowball effect. Let's say you invest your $1,000. The S&P 500, which is just a big basket of the 500 largest US companies, has returned an average of around 10% per year over the long haul. So we'll use that for example. After year one, your $1,000 grows to $1,100. You made $100. Cool. But in year two, you don't just earn interest on the original grant, you earn interest on the new total, $1,100. So you make $110 and your new total is $1,210. The next year it's $121. See how it's starting to speed up. It's a tiny, almost unnoticeable difference at first, but this is where time becomes your superpower. Let's imagine you invest at one time $1,000 and don't add another penny for 40 years. At that same 10% average return, it could become over $45,000. But what if you build the habit? What if after the first $1,000 you manage to add just $100 a month? In 40 years you could be looking at over $580,000. This is the jaw-dropping power of compounding. Your first $1,000 isn't just $1,000, it's a seed, it's the start of a snowball that can grow into a mountain of financial freedom. And this is why we invest. Okay, so you're sold on that one. You're ready to get the snowball rolling, but hold on for a minute. Before we do that, you have to build a solid foundation. You wouldn't build a house on a quicksand, right? So you shouldn't start investing without securing your financial base first. There are two non-negotiables you have to tackle before you invest a single dollar. First is kill all high interest debt. I'm talking about credit cards, payday loans, anything with an interest rate in the double digits. The average credit card interest rate can be over 20%. Think about that. The stock market's historical average is around 10% and that's not guaranteed. Paying off a 22% credit card is like getting a guaranteed tax-free 22% return on your money. You will not find a better safe return anywhere on the planet. It's just math. You can't get ahead earning 10% while you're paying out 22%. So if you have that kind of debt, your first $1,000 need to be a battering ram aimed right at it until it's gone. Second, you need an emergency fund. This is your oh crap fund. You know, it's your financial fire extinguisher. Life happens, your car will break down, your dog will eat something weird, you might face a layoff. An emergency fund is 3 to 6 months worth of your essential living expenses, rent, food, utilities, gas, stashed in a separate high yield savings account. Not the stock market, not anywhere it's locked up. It has to be easy to grab. Why is this so critical? Well, because without it, any unexpected expenses becomes a crisis that forces you to either go into debt or even worse, sell your investments at the worst possible time. Imagine the market drops 20% and you suddenly need $1,000. You'd have to sell at a loss, locking in that loss forever and wrecking your long-term plan. Your emergency fund protects your investments. It's what lets you invest with confidence knowing you have a cash cushion to handle life's curveballs. So let me be crystal clear. If you have credit card debt or no emergency fund, your first $1,000 goes there, period. Once those pillars are solid, you're ready to start building wealth. Okay, so with your foundation secure, it's time to open the door to the investing world. For this, you need a brokerage account. Just think of it as a special bank account that's designed to hold investments, not just cash. Opening one is ridiculously simple. Seriously, it's often easier than opening a checking account. You can do it online in about 50 minutes. For a beginner in 2025, there are tons of user-friendly options. The big trusted names like Fidelity, Charles Schwab, and Vanguard are fantastic choices. Then you have the newer slick mobile apps like Robinhood and Webull that have made getting started incredibly easy. So what should you look for here? Well, for a beginner, it's three simple things. Zero commissions. You shouldn't have to pay a fee to buy or sell a US stock or ETF. All the major brokers offer this now. No account minimums. You want a place that will let you open an account with $0, and all the ones I mentioned do. And fractional shares. This is a total game changer. A single share of some companies can cost thousands of dollars. Fractional shares lets you buy a small slice of a share for as little as $1. It means your $1,000 can be fully invested and diversified from day one. You might also hear people talk about a Roth IRA. That's the type of retirement account with an amazing tax benefit, and you should definitely look into it for long-term goals. But for this guide, we're focused on a standard taxable brokerage account that gives you the most flexibility with your first grand. The main takeaway here is don't get paralyzed. Choosing between Fidelity and Schwab is like choosing between a Toyota and a Honda. They're both excellent, reliable, and will get you where you need to go. Open the account and put your $1,000 in it. Getting it done is the way better than trying to be perfect. Okay, so this is your moment. Your account is open, the $1,000 is sitting there, and you're staring at the buy button. What do you actually get? Well, the number of choices is dizzying, and this is where most beginners either freeze up or make a mistake like dumping all their money into one trendy stock they saw on TikTok. We're not doing that. We're just gonna use a simple, proven, and diversified strategy using something called an exchange traded fund or an ETF. An ETF is basically a pre-packaged bundle of stocks. It's instant diversification. Instead of trying to find the one magic needle in a haystack, you're just buying the whole haystack. For a beginner, this is the smartest and most effective way to start. So here's how I would invest my first $1,000, and this is my simple no bullshit allocation plan. I would put 70% into an S&P 500 index fund. The S&P 500 tracks the 500 largest, most profitable public companies in the US. Think Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. When you buy an S&P 500 ETF, you own a tiny sliver of all of them. This is the stable, reliable core of your portfolio. You're essentially betting on the long-term success of the American economy. Popular tickers for this is VOO or IVV. Then I would put 20% into a Nasdaq 100 index fund ETF. The Nasdaq 100 is an index packed with tech and innovation. It's the 100 largest non-financial companies on the Nasdaq exchange. Think Nvidia, Tesla, Meta. This is your growth engine. It's a bit more volatile than the S&P 500, but it gives your portfolio a nice kick of the exposure to some of the most innovative companies in the world. A super popular ETF for this is QQQ or QQQM. Then 10% held as cash. Now I know what you're thinking, right? Cash, didn't you just say cash is a guaranteed loser? And you're right, but this isn't savings. This is your opportunity fund. Keeping a small bit of cash in your investments account, first, it's a psychological buffer. It helps you sleep at night knowing you aren't 100% all in. Second, and more importantly, it gets you ready to act like a real investor. The market will have bad days. Those aren't times to panic. Those are buying opportunities. Having cash on the sideline lets you jump on those sales and buy your favorite funds at a discount. So the blueprint is this: $700 in S&P 500 ETF for stability, $200 in Nasdaq 100 ETF for growth kick, and $100 in cash ready to deploy on a down day. It's a beautiful, simple, balanced, and powerful portfolio for a beginner. Okay, so you now have the exact blueprint on what to buy, but I'll let you in on a little secret. The investment you pick are only half the battle. The other half, the more important half, is what goes on between your ears. It's your mindset. Most people who lose money in the market don't lose because they picked the wrong fund. They lose because they panic. There are two principles you have to tattoo on your brain to succeed. And first is you must play the long game. Investing is a get-rich-slow plan, not a get-rich-quick scheme. We're long-term investors, not day traders. We measure success in decades, not days. The market will go up, it will go down, there will be scary crashes and terrifying headlines. But if you zoom out on a long-term chart of the market, those world-ending events look like a tiny little blips on a steady upward line. Your job is to ignore the noise. Do not check your portfolio every day. Please do not sell when the market drops. A market drop is a sale. It's the best time to buy and not to sell. And second, make it automatic. The best way to build your wealth and take your emotions out of the driver's seat is to put your investing on autopilot. This is called dollar cost averaging. It just means you invest a fixed amount of money on a regular schedule, say $100 every month, no matter what the market is doing, what prices are. When prices are high, your money buys fewer shares. When the prices are low, the same money buys more shares. It's a beautiful way to ensure you're systematically buying low. Every brokerage lets you set up automatic recurring investments. Set it up once for $50 or $100 a month and let the system do the work. Automating your investing is the single best trick for building wealth without even thinking about it. So that's the plan. You've tackled the fear that keeps so many people on the sidelines. You know that the real risk isn't investing but letting inflation silently rob you. You have secured your foundation by getting rid of high interest debt and building your emergency fund. You've opened your account and you have a simple, powerful blueprint for that first $1,000. That first $1,000 isn't about hitting a home run, it's about getting in the game. It's about building that habit. It's about planning a treat today so you can enjoy the shade later. You have the knowledge, you have the plan, the only thing left is to take action. Now I want to hear from you. How would you invest your first $1,000? Drop your strategy in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Now go put that money to work.